This is the plaintiff, Javier. He says the defendant sideswiped his car while it was parked on the street and then just took off. That's right, he didn't even stop. Luckily, he got his plate number. Obviously, the deadbeat refuses to pay him for the damage he caused, and that's why he's bringing him to court today for the $950 he's most definitely owed. This is the defendant, Herbert Lucas. He says he doesn't even remember driving down the specific street where this so-called sideswipe even happened. He thinks this is some sort of shakedown because when he returned and met with the plaintiff, the man didn't want to call the cops. Bottom line, the vehicle he was driving's fully insured. If he had been in an accident, he would have stopped, but he did nothing and refuses. He's accused of hitting and running.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant sideswiped his car and then booked it. But the defendant says he has no recollection. And he says it was a shakedown. It's the case of gun and run.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay. Javier, you've asked to be referred to only as Javier. You are suing Herbert Lucas. You've asked us not to mention the company you work for $950 in damages to your mirror and the driver's side of your car because, according to you, he sideswiped you. Tell me what happened.
On the morning of Monday, August 1st, Your Honor, I was driving my car to the Upper West Side to help my friend Tim. He had just moved into his new apartment and we're taking some items to Goodwill store. So we went upstairs to Tim's apartment and we helped pack up.
Is this Tim?
This is Dan. He's my friend who was with me, who helped me and Tim.
Okay. So he was there?
He was there. He came with me, and he was in the car. We parked it, and we went upstairs to help Tim. And we came down with some bags to take into the car, and then we're going to double park the car while we wait for Tim to bring the rest of the stuff down.
Okay.
So while we came down about 8:20, we saw the truck driven by Mr. Lucas, and we saw him sideswipe. I actually heard the sound. I didn't see it as much as I heard it. And then I looked up, I saw his truck driving, and it had hit my car, and it took my mirror off, my side view mirror on the driver's side, and I saw like my side of my car had been hit.
Okay,
so
can I see a picture of the damage?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Go on.
So upon realizing that my car had been hit, we kind of like, I kind of chased after the car a little bit. The truck,
On foot?
On foot. I tried to chase after it, but it just kept going.
Okay.
And I caught most of the license plates. So then we kind of gathered and we wrote down some notes on my phone, like, what we had of the license plate, the company, whatever. We came back to the car and I actually found on the windshield of the car.
Who ran after the truck?
We both did, but he was faster than I am.
Come on up.
Sorry.
Where am I going, up there? Or?
No.
You're good, right there.
Yes. Sit on my lap, little boy, and tell me what you want for Christmas. No, you don't come up here. What, you never watched court before?
Not with such a beautiful judge.
All right, what did you see?
Well, we were walking out of the apartment, and that's when we saw the truck go by. And we heard the noise, and then we basically started running. I'm pretty quick.
He's fast.
I used to run cross country.
Okay.
He's way faster than I am, so.
But you couldn't catch up with it.
Correct.
No. But he got some of the license plate, I got some of it, so we put it together.
And then when you guys came back to the car, what happened?
When it came back to the car, we put the bags in the trunk, and then I realized someone had left a note. A Good Samaritan had left a note with the information of the accident.
Do you have the actual note?
Yeah, I do.
May I see it?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
The Good Samaritan didn't leave his name or her name and number?
Nope. And they actually got the name of the company wrong, but they got the plate, most of the plate, so that was good. It helped us.
Yeah, I guess. All right. What happened?
Well, my dispatcher called me about 9:30 on the radio and said Mr. Javier said one of our trucks sideswiped his mirror coming down 85th Street. And I told him I have no recollection of ever coming down 85th Street. Then he said, I have Mr. Javier's number. So I called Mr. Javier. As soon as I talked to Mr. Javier, he tells me, I'm a lawyer, this is a hit and run, I have witnesses. And I said, well, Mr. Javier, where can I meet you at? I met him actually on 7.
Are you a lawyer?
I did go to law school, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, are you
yes,
a lawyer?
Yes. I don't practice, but I am a lawyer.
That's
Do
what
you
he
have a
told-
license? Are you
No.
a member of a bar?
No.
Were you a member at one point of a
No.
bar? Okay.
I've graduated law school. I haven't
So
taken
that-
the bar.
You haven't taken the bar
No.
yet? When did you graduate law school?
A couple of years ago.
So you're not going to take the bar?
Not immediately, no.
Okay.
So I told him, where can I meet him at? He said, meet him on 79th Street. So I pull up in my truck. I noticed him taking mental notes of my license plate already. That gave me a red flag.
Why is that a red flag?
Because of the fact that means he never seen the truck before.
Except for that he knew who to call. He called your employer already.
On my truck, the employee number and the name.
Your employer knew to single you out. How did your employer know that you were the guy to send over there?
So defendant says, I have no recollection of this. Did he do it?
Yes, he did. He did it, and he don't want nobody to know he's doing it. He's trying to disguise.
What if he really didn't have a recollection?
He would just say that. So I guess he's just saying that.
He's just saying that. Do you believe that he did it or didn't do it based on, I have no recollection of sideswiping a parked car?
He did it.
He did it. Going inside the courtroom.
Well, I was in the.
So it's not like he got, I mean, I think I know what you're trying to say. It's not like he memorized your license plate only after seeing it, because somehow everyone knew that you're the guy they had to be sent over there.
I was in the vicinity in that area, but the
What a
number on
coincidence.
the number on the truck is 3 feet high. The name is 3 feet high.
Somehow, according to them, 2 people saw it. Yeah, there's no name and address. I can't cross-examine a piece of paper.
Yes.
So yeah, I guess he could have written it, but highly dubious he'd get the name of your company wrong on it. But
Okay.
if he was manufacturing evidence. But, you know, obviously somebody saw enough to identify you as the guy because your boss told you to go talk to him. So you go over there and talk to him, and what does he say or do? He threatens you that he's a lawyer or tells you he's a lawyer?
Yeah, he tells me he's a lawyer. He tells me that I have witnesses and that I don't want to involve the police. That he does. What do you want to do to take care of this? Well, I drive for a company that, you know, $1 million company that that's fully insured in vehicle and whatnot. So I asked him for his ID. He didn't want to give it to me. I asked him for insurance, his registration. He didn't want not give me. He did not.
Why don't you guys just call the police then?
He didn't want to give it to me. Only after I said, let's call the police, he gave me a picture of his ID.
Okay.
So I gave him my boss's card. I said, right now I'm frustrated with him. So you
With the boss?
No,
Or with him?
with Mr.
Okay.
Javier, because he's not trying to cooperate.
What would you have called cooperation?
Cooperation is you take my information, I take his information.
Yeah, but eventually happen. If it's not happening, then you just call the police.
Yeah, I take them and I make a police.
Okay, so yeah, right. But you didn't call the police, and you both traded information. So
no,
tell
we
me.
didn't. No, we didn't. We only traded. He only gave me his ID.
Okay, so why don't you just call the police?
Okay, after he took my.
But I don't even know why you would need his insurance information. But if you felt you did, you could call the police.
Yeah, if I call the police, we're gonna get all that.
Yeah, we're gonna get all that, right?
Because he accused me of hitting his vehicle.
Yeah, I'm not stupid. I know why you didn't call the police.
that's
It was
the
a
reason,
rhetorical
so-
question. In other words, you can't complain about stuff that would have been fixed if you had called the police. You just didn't want to call the police. But so what's your defense, though? What is your defense? What's your defense? You work for $1 million company. They have insurance, but apparently you're telling them that you didn't hit it, so the insurance isn't covering it.
No, I did not hit it, and then I made a sworn statement to my insurance company
Saying you didn't hit it.
that I didn't hit him, that I didn't come down the street, that you know.
Now all of a sudden you're positive you didn't come down the street?
I have no acknowledge. I mean, I have no recollection.
What did you say to him that day when you were out there, though?
When I was out there, I came out to examine the vehicle to see if there was any paint from my truck on his vehicle. There was none. There was no fresh scratches on my truck.
Did you get a chance to see his truck?
My truck
did.
is my truck
And were
is
there
too-
any scratches to his truck?
No, I don't think there was any scratches. From my car to the parked car hitting his car, no. He was the one who scratched my car.
No, I know, but when there's contact, there is often paint transfer. So was there...
I didn't look at his car that closely, so
Well,
I
you
can't
should.
say.
I mean,
should have,
that's
yeah.
kind of the whole point, no?
Yeah, you're right, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
My
Had
truck
you
was too
seen his
big.
car before the accident?
Yes. I was in
Did
it.
it have that damage before that truck went down there?
No. He definitely would have known if there was a mirror missing.
Yeah. Let me see the proof of damages.
The damages on the photos? Your
Yes,
Honor?
but do you
want
have
the
an estimate?
Yeah, I have the receipt for the damage to my window, which was repaired because I needed that to drive. Here it is. And then I have an estimate from the, which unfortunately is written on the back of this thing, and it just says it's just a number. It says like $550 for repairing the dent, the part, the scratches and the dent.
What year car is this?
It's a really old car. It's like 2003.
It's not that old. You'd be surprised what I see here. All right. All right. So I'm finding in favor of the plaintiff in this case in the amount of $903. This is a civil case. It is not a criminal case. They do not have to prove beyond every reasonable doubt that you were the one. That's a really high standard in a criminal. In a civil case, they just have to tip the scales. They have to. Is it more likely than not? And based on the totality of everything I'm looking at, I think it's you. And I also think that when people hit a car, they know they hit a car. They're hearing the unmistakable sound of the clashing of metal against metal. Even if it's just the mirror, and even if it's just a little bit of the car getting scratched, it's still a very unmistakable sound, okay? And for your defense to be, oh, he couldn't have caught me, is not persuasive to me. Verdict for the plaintiff in the amount of the $903, plus, of course, your court costs.
So probably not much of a surprise to anyone watching. The plaintiff does indeed win. Mr. Lucas, if you'll step over here, the judge found that you're probably the one who did it, and she found against you.
I can't say, she said that I did it, but I know that I didn't come down that street, right. So,
Well, sorry about that. This was not your day in court.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Right. Now here comes the plaintiff, Mr. Javier. If you'll step out here. Obviously, you're happy with this. Was it worth coming to court?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It was definitely worth it.
Pretty cut and dry case.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Now go to law school. Get past the law bar. The bar. I'll get it. You're welcome. Harvey, he's happy.
Doug, by the way, if you cause an accident that results in property damage or injury, you have to stop and exchange information or leave information, and if you don't, it's a crime. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.